boil. I'm not gonna boil you. I won't boil you. I promise. Okay, here we are back for some more boiling, and this time I'm not going to start off on the wood stove. Basically, it was warm and I let it go out last night, and it's still out. I got to get it going 'cause it's a little chilly out today, but get it going, and we'll put the sap on and get it started. Okay, got the things all cleaned out from last time. Take pour some in that pot. Pour some in that pot. You need enough there to start the other pot with. So I'll have to go out and grab another bucket. For now, we'll get this stuff started. Put the covers on just to get it heated up a little bit quicker. And once she starts warming up, I will take the covers off and let her steam. Okay, so now we got it going, got it steaming, and it's time to wait. I'm not gonna really I'm not gonna boil you. I won't boil you, I promise. I'm not gonna bore you with sitting there watching it steam. This video's, well, it's either gonna be 2 parts or it's gonna run pretty long anyways. So, with that, I'll just show you occasionally on what we're doing. With that, I got some other things to do while this stuff is boiling down. Okay, we got it boiling down here. So I'll just pick you up. No, it didn't boil down just like last time. But one thing that did happen was my big burner right here stopped working. So now it's not boiling so good. The little burners don't get it quite so hot. And so I'm just going to shut those little burners off because it ain't making much sense to have it down there when it's not really heating up. So we will just take some of this and we will start combining it. And let it boil. The more it boils down, the more sugar, the sweeter it gets, and it'll boil faster and faster and faster and faster. I like to have 2 pots going, but I guess I'm going to deal with one now until I try to fix my stove. It broke on me the other day, and well, it's been broke, and the other day I investigated it, and it was a broken wire inside. I fixed it, but evidently I didn't fix it good enough. So I'm going to let this boil down some more. And what I want to do is I would really like to get this all boiled up. Everything I've got for sap so far all boiled up into one, so I don't have to keep doing this. But I may just go with this one and then do one more session. I'm not sure. But yeah, there you have it. That's what we're doing. I'm not going to end the video here because there'll be more syrup to come. So, be back when it's doing something. Okay, so this is actually the next day. I paused the I paused. I took off everything off the heat. It got late last night. I started up again this morning, and then I took it off because I decided I needed to fix that stove, and what it is a wire that burnt off. Well, I replaced it and I didn't use the correct wire. So I got to go ahead and I ordered it on eBay. I got some high temp wire coming, but I've got that hooked back up temporarily with a new piece of wire, so hopefully it'll last so I can finish this. And yeah, so now I'm just cooking again. Got some pots going. It's getting quite thick, and so I got to get some more pots onto it to consolidate it, and I'm trying to get everything done. I've got about 10 more gallons of sap to go through, and so yeah, it should give me a decent amount of sap to make my syrup out of. And so we're just continuing. I've brought in all my sap. I'm going out in a little bit. It's really, really windy and kind of chilly out, so I may just wait until tomorrow. I might do it later. I don't know yet. But show you how to pull the taps out and what I'll do to keep my stuff this year so I don't just leave it laying out there and have to buy all new next year. So yeah, so there we go. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to show you how to take the sap out of the sap out of I already showed you how to get the sap out of the trees. I'll show you how to get the tap out of the trees. See if I can get you set up here. This way here you don't leave your sap stuff outside like I did. Just basically come up and give it a little tap on that. You probably can do it by hand, but I don't want to risk breaking it. But drain the sap out of it, curl it up, and put it in your bucket. Now it's left some holes here. You can see some sap running out of it, but that will actually, with tap is not in it, within the next couple days it'll make a film around the inside of it, and it will stop leaking out sap, and it'll just heal up. The bark will grow over it, and it'll heal up. And anything that runs out is not going to hurt it. It actually just helps put sugar back in the ground. Love this tree right here. I wouldn't hurt it for anything. It's my good old sugar maple. It's been my best producer. I got over 10 gallons of what I got just out of this one tree this year. So it's a beautiful tree. And so yeah, so I'll go do that to the other trees, and then I'll explain how to clean the stuff up to you. Alright, I'm going to do this outside because it's fairly nice out today. See if you can see that there. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Alright. So what we're basically going to do, you're going to take your sap equipment. If you tap more trees, you'll obviously have more nests, but we're not going to bother with that today because I can't get it off evidently. And I don't really have to. As long as you can curl this up good, so that everything fits down into your bucket. I'm doing that for today. I got other things to do today, so I'll do that tonight. But basically, put your lid on, and you got it for next year. But what you do have to do is, once you get them apart, use a pair of pliers, whatever you got to do, or you can just go buy new stuff next year. It's really not that expensive. I think everything there cost me like $20. But what I normally do is I'll coil it up in the bottom of the bucket, drop the pieces in, and I'll fill it up with just over the top of it with, water, and then I'll add like a cup of bleach and put it in there, let it soak for a couple hours, rinse the bucket out, bring the stuff out, run water down through them, set them so that everything will drip out onto a towel or whatnot, but let it drip out, and then just let it dry. Bleach evaporates up, and then once everything's all dry, put it in your bucket and save until next year. Everything's getting quite dark. Can you see it? It's getting quite dark in there. And syrup, the color of it, will depend on how much you put in. Like if you only do enough for a pint, you're actually going to end up with a lighter colored syrup. The more you do, the more it's going to get darker, because the longer it's on the heat and the more that it discolors. So if you're cooking up, like this will be, this is what I made the other night. Ooh, it's quite thick. But this will be a darker color because I'm doing more at a time. I'm going to boil down more sap, therefore it's on the stove more, and it gets more of that burnt color, amber color, which is basically what that all is. So this should be some nice dark syrup. And there, I will video some more in a little while. One more thing I want to mention, and I forgot to mention, and I should mention, when you get closer to the end of your sap, the thicker it gets to the syrup, you have to really pay attention, because water boils at about 207 degrees or something like that, but syrup boils at about 220 or so degrees, and it keeps getting warmer. So the more sap you put in, the more it boils down to syrup, the hotter it is, and the quicker the water will boil off. If that makes sense. It might not make sense. Now that well, yeah, it makes sense to me, but that's me, and who knows, I might be weird. Okay, so now we got it all boiled down into one pot. I have actually concentrated almost 30 gallons of sap. Well, just in this one pot is close to 20 gallons. But down to that one pot. Nice and dark. So now that it's all down to that one pot, we will just let it boil down and boil down and boil down until it's down to syrup. It's hard to do syrup consistency because when it's hot it flows really good, but you use the teaspoon, pull it out, let it cool, put it on a plate, see how it drips. Plus you can also tell by how much it foams, because the more sugary it gets, the more it foams up when it's boiling, so it'll foam up a lot, and just after you do it for a while, you get used to how it's done. So I'll be back when we get to that point. You'll know it's getting close to being ready when it boils up like this. But see how it's not boiling over, so I know it's not quite ready. And another test is remove it from the heat, let the bubbles go down to just the liquid, and then bring it right back to the heat and see how long it takes for it to foam back up. The quicker it foams, the closer it is to being done. Right now, this thing's at about 206 degrees, so it's got about another 10 degrees to warm up, or so. But I can basically tell by the foam in action and setting some in a spoon and letting it cool off to see how well it drips. I can get that action. If I remove it from the stove, I can do that and let it cool down. If it ain't quite done, I can put it back on the heat to let it boil down a little bit more. Okay, it's foaming up pretty good. It's actually boiling over, which we don't want. You can also see how yellow the thing is, and if that boils over, it's going to make a wicked smell in the house. So let's take a cloth, wipe it off real quick. See how fast it boils back up. Bubble, bubble, toiling, bubble, tubble, whatever you want to say. Yeah, it's foaming up pretty quick, but not as quick as I'll like it. We're going to let it foam up to the top once more, and then I'm going to take, and when I pull it off, I'll stick a spoon in it and let the spoon cool off and see how well it runs once it's cooled off, because you don't want it too runny. If it's too runny, it actually can spoil. Maple sugar doesn't really spoil because of the sugar content in it. But if it's too watery, it can spoil. Because you want it to keep boiling while you're testing it, because it'll be quicker, and as long as you take it off and on, off and on, off and on, it won't really hurt the sap. And if you overboil the sap, well, congratulations, you've made yourself some maple syrup. So that's not too bad either. Yeah, she's foaming up pretty good now. Quite quick. When you first start boiling your sap, a bunch of pure white foam will boil up, and it's really thick. That's nowhere near ready. That basically is it boiling off impurities. Yeah, this is getting pretty good now. And down. And watch it, watch it. How long does it take it for it to boil? See, it boils immediately, which tells you, and it's also I didn't get to it before the foams went. Let's pull it off again real quick. $219, so 224, 225, 234. It's getting damn close. You guys want to watch my wife run around and get ready for it? She's leaving now. Hang on, I gotta pause it so I can give her a kiss goodbye because she gotta go to work. I'll be right back. Okay, she's gone. Just when I need the most help. Alright, let's take a look at the... Okay, there's the sap. And it's still quite runny. Wipe it out, because trust me, if you keep tasting it, you're going to get sick of it. But it won't take too long for it to thicken up. That's when you know it's getting done. And see how dark colored the foam is? It's probably a little darker in real life than it is on that camera. But and the darker the foam, the closer it is to being done. Got one drop rolls around. Let's see how the other drop. I say probably 1 or 2 more boil-ups. Average of 215. Yeah, a couple more boil-ups. and I think she'll be ready. And then I'll have to pour it. I may fast forward through this, or I may just let you watch it. Either way. Yeah, that's boiling up really quick now. So let's wipe this out one more time. Let it bubble up one more time. I spilled it on the stove again. Alright, let's shut the stove off, because I think it's ready. See, when it's hot, it's really jiggly. See it? It's really liquidy. That's why you gotta let it cool down before you can really tell. Are you still running? Yeah, you're still running. Okay, look, I made a mess of my stove. Okay, that one run pretty quick, but it was quite thick. So, it goes here, where it's thinner. See how slow it's running? That is done. So there, maple syrup. Now let's clean up and pour it. You can just sit here on the stove. It'll take a long time for it to cool down. So I'll just clean up the stove, because the stove is also where I want to do the cannon of it. Cannon of it. So let's get that done, and then I'll be back. Okay, this time, this is all for my own consumption, so I'm not going to use a cheesecloth. I know that mesh right there is going to screen out. I mean, that is a tiny mess. Anything maybe bad, I'm going to use a coffee cup to dip it out with. Might have to use it though, because I need two hands to pick up that pot. I don't have two hands. Well, I got two hands, but... Oh, that's hot. Oh, my goodness, that was hot. Ouch. Maple syrup burn. Tried to pour it too fast. Wow. This is how you make a mess pouring your maple syrup. I knew I could teach you guys something that you didn't know on YouTube. Okay, so maybe don't use a coffee cup when you're doing it yourself, or you may get burnt. And if you make this much, you might want to buy more jars, because these are almost full. I'm only halfway done. I'm going to leave about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch in the top of your jars. And you want to do this when it's hot, like I said, so that if you want to wait until your syrup cools down, that's fine. But then what you want to do is, after you've jarred it, then you want to take it and put your jars in some hot water so that it'll vacuum seals. But this here, you put it in while it's hot, it will vacuum seal itself right up. Woohoo! That jar is hot. That's going to be too much. Let's see what we can do here. I have to find another container to put what's left in. And if you have any left over, you don't worry about it. You just put that in a container, put it straight into your refrigerator, and use it. after I made that last batch the other night, the next day we had we had maple syrup. We had breakfast for supper, and we ate up a whole pint of it. So, uno momento, por favor. Well, maybe I can just do it with both ends. This. Tighten it up. Let's see. You can see the top of this one. This is the one I did the other night. See, it all vacuumed itself right up because it was all hot. And what I was telling you about the difference on how much you make, I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Probably not. The one on the right is quite a bit darker than the one on the left. It's because I cooked more, so it boiled more. Alright, I gotta go find something to put the last of it in. Okay, so what I come up with is I didn't have any more jars, so I got this Old Smoky moonshine. What kind of moonshine was it? Blackberry moonshine. I rinsed it out really good. No, I won't be able to seal this up, but where I'm going to take the remainder of what's left and just put it into the refrigerator for almost immediate consumption, it doesn't need to get sealed up. How am I going to do that? Will this work? Oh, that worked. But you can't see what I'm doing, or can you? Now you can. Whoa. Huh. Still got too much. I think I'm out of jars. Well, I hate to waste it, but there's only, a little bit down in there. Probably maybe half a pint, but that'll be right full of imperfections and whatnot anyways. Stuff that I was straining out, because as you can see, stuff does come out in the strainer. That's why the other stuff I use cheesecloth. If I'd had help today, I probably would have used cheesecloth too. So, let me go about moving stuff around and getting rid of it, and I'll see you in a bit. And there you have it. Sorry about the pink towel, but I had to have something to contrast. I put it up on the stove, but where the stove's black, all you can see was the lid shining. We ended up with 11 jelly jam jars, which was a mistake. I should have bought pint, and I didn't pay attention when I bought them, but they're jelly jars. But we actually had 12 because we ate one the other night. But 12 pints, I don't think that's quite a quart, but whatever that thing is, and this little one here, and there you go. That's how to make syrup on top of your stove. This summer I plan on building a sap house, and I'll probably show you the process of doing that. Way better than doing it inside. Yeah, this is great maple syrup. I probably spent more money between the jars and the electricity boiling it inside and stuff than it's awesome tasting. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching this series of videos. I'm Errol, the Maine-iac Miner. Have a good day.